How's it going, everybody? I have a question for you. For concealed carry, 9mm or 380, what do you choose? I think most anyone out there off the top of their head would say 9mm. The purpose of this video is to show between a 9mm of a particular brand and model and a 380 of a particular brand and model. I want to show some advantages to carrying or choosing a 380 over the 9. Okay, what I have here is a M&P Shield in 9mm and a Glock 42 in 380. I know, years ago, not all that many years ago, I don't want to make it sound like it's 30 years ago. If I would have walked in and looked at these two firearms right here, and I was looking for a firearm to purchase for concealed carry, I would have made up my mind putting them side by side in about 4 seconds. I would have picked them up. I would have done this right here. Let me lift you up a little bit. Essentially would have done this right here. And I'd have said, well, hell, they're at the same size. I'll take the 9mm. Right? I mean, don't they both look to be the same size? Well, they are in one aspect, and that's length. Okay? There's a lot more to it when it comes to concealed carry than just slide length. You need to take into consideration weight. You should take in consideration grip length, which you can see plainly right here. The 380 is quite a bit shorter. Okay, the 380 grip here is narrower this way than this one. This is quite a bit fatter. So there's more than just slide length. I always compare the size of a gun solely by the length of the slide, the length of the barrel, whatever, without taking anything else into consideration. One of the most difficult things to conceal when you're concealed carrying in your inside the waistband or even outside the waistband is your grip. I mean, this part of the firearm here slides down inside your britches, down along your leg or your hip or whatever. So you have just a little bit, above your belt. You have just enough to be able to get a grip on this, get it out of your holster. What is still sticking up out is your grip length. Longer the grip, the more it has a tendency to print or to show through a t-shirt hanging over. You bend over, the gun makes a move, it makes a move back, and it starts poking out your shirt. The shorter the grip, the easier it is for you to conceal that. That's one thing. Thickness, okay, thickness is going to be a contributor in most cases to weight. The fatter a gun, usually the more it's going to weigh. Weight is a big factor in concealed carry as well. I mean, there are people out there that will carry a full-size 1911 or a Glock 20, a full-size 45 ACP, and they'll carry them, and they'll carry them every day. But they are the exception, not the rule. So, what I look at now, primarily, the very first thing I want to check out is weight. I want to check out how the gun feels in my hand, how comfortable it feels in my hand. I'm kind of a weirdo when it comes to that. I've had numerous 380s. The Car P380, very small 380, super small, really light, but to me it was too small. I've had the SIG P238, I had the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, and I know I've had, I think, one other, but I can't think of it right now. But I never did really like the feel of those guns simply because they just felt too small. I mean, I'm not a real small guy. and I get them in my hand. I just didn't like the way they felt. Well, whenever the 42 Glock came out, it's kind of the, I don't know, the mix. I mean, this is getting on the big side for most 380s, okay? But it's still narrow. You know, Glocks are kind of noted for being really fat. Well, this one here is not super fat. It still feels good in my hand. It feels like I actually have enough gun to hang on to comfortably, and I like that. That's my personal preference. If your personal preference is you don't really care how it feels in your hand, it isn't going to be in your hand long enough to care, you're just looking for a small gun or a light gun or both, this wouldn't be the gun for you. This one right here is right on the cusp for being almost too big that I want to pocket carry it. I do pocket carry it, but it depends on what kind of jeans or pants you have on, or shorts, to how comfortable it's going to be. But getting back to the weight. The weight between these two, this one here, the 380, is a 6+1. This one here is a 7+1 with a flat mag. Now, let me show you the weight differences between these two. Both of these have been safety checked. Put this up here on the scale. This is with a 7-round loaded mag, 23.4 ounces. Okay? Now you do the same thing with this 380. $15.8. Okay, so you're 7.5 ounces lighter with that 380 than you are with the 9mm. 7.5 ounces is a buttload. That's a lot. So here again, in the 9mm, you can get smaller 9s than a shield. This is nothing more than just more or less to let people know that just the overall size of a gun isn't always the whole story. There's other factors to look at. The Diamondback DB9, I understand. I've never held one, but that's a super small 9mm. The Kel-Tec PF9, super small 9mm. There's also, in my book, something to be said about reliability and reputation. The DB9, the Kel-Tec PF9, some people have great luck with them, some people don't. You start getting into like a Shield or a Glock 26 in 9mm or a Glock 42 or a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard in 380. You know, they have a reputation, they have a background that just denotes quality, and most people don't have a lot of problems with those particular firearms. So, yeah, there are smaller ones, there are lighter ones, there's bigger, heavier ones as well. But kind of these two are very popular for concealed carry. The 42's only been out since the beginning of 2014. The Shields have been around now, I think, for, about 3 years, 4 years? They've been around. Smith & Wesson, a great company, they stand behind their firearms for a lifetime. I had a Shield in 40 caliber. I'm not going to go into that story, but I ended up, trading it, and then I picked this up. And, Glock, unless you've been under a rock, the reputation of reliability of Glock is very, very well known. Is Glock the only one? No. There's many out there that are really reliable. The M&P series. Smith & Wesson M&Ps. There's just a myriad of very, very fine polymer, lightweight, quote-unquote firearms. But whenever you come to carrying something, if you're looking for something light, I would not shy away from a 380. If you pick up a 9mm, a quality 9mm that has a good reputation, and you pick it up and you're just like, man, I don't know, that feels kind of heavy. You might want to look at something like this. With the loadings you can get for .380 these days, most self-defense shootings, let's say, happen within 5 to 7 feet. At 5 to 7 feet, a .380 is going to get the job done. You know, there are more people killed every year with a .22 long rifle than anything else. The biggest problem with .22 long rifle is it's a rimfire cartridge, and they're not real reliable ammunition. So I just wanted to show and kind of get people thinking. This is, you know, obviously for people that haven't been doing this for any period of time, they're just kind of looking around. But keep that in mind. Keep that in mind whenever you're looking at potentially buying something, even to stick in your purse. You know, smaller, lighter, not always bad. You know, if size and weight doesn't bother you, you know, you can carry a Glock 20, a full-size Glock 10mm, or a Colt Delta Elite in 10mm. You know, get yourself a 40-ounce gun to carry around. Hey, more power to you. But the vast majority of people aren't willing and will not do that. So, just kind of another way to look. This is not in any way a comparison between a .380 and a 9mm. I get people all the time saying that isn't a fair comparison. This isn't a comparison between these two. This is about size and weight differences between the calibers. That's it. So don't be flaming on here, griping and complaining, saying that, you know, this is not fair. This isn't about fairness. Okay. Enough about that. Thanks for watching. Y'all take care, and we will talk to you later. Something I'm going to put on this weekend. Got some Talon grips for both of them. Both of them have pretty slick grips to me, so I'm going to put some Talons on them. Thanks for watching. Y'all take care. We'll see ya.